When it comes to Indian ringnecks, one of the things that happens is that we caught a really great video or a really cute Instagram on YouTube or Instagram, and the Indian ringnecks look so cute, they're so funny, they're so adorable, they're so amazing, and then you get one. And then perhaps you have a different experience. Do Indian ringnecks get along with each other? What do you do when they're bitey? What do you do when they're not necessarily being as friendly? How do you get them back in their cage? These are some of the questions that I've gotten recently on Indian ringnecks. Indian ringnecks are a very interesting species of parrot and probably similar to their Asiatic siblings, cousins, family, the Alexandrians, African ringnecks, palmheads, different but similar, even eclectus. So let's answer a few questions about Indian ringnecks today because they are so beautiful. They're such great talkers. They can be playful. That makes them kind of popular. But what are you getting into, or how do you handle your Indian ringneck if you already have one? Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond and the new book, Get to Know African Gray and Cape Parrots. I am here to help you increase your blissful bond today, hopefully with your Indian ringneck, reducing the need for rescues. If you're here to be inspired, you're in the right place. If you already know that this is Jules and you already knew that I'm trying to tame Jules, so this is his tether, then you're used to hanging out. Hopefully that means you've already subscribed, or better yet, you're a YouTube member. YouTube members, you can find out about it at parrotbliss.com. My YouTube members get an extra video every week with insider information, more about what's going on, more about what it's like with my flock, that kind of thing, my experience, my parrots. And we also have a private forum where we meet. Now, let's talk about Indian ringnecks. The thing you have to know about an Indian ringneck is that they're not a teddy bear parrot. What I mean by that is there are some parrots that are more affectionate. I had someone write to me yesterday and say that it's been several years since her parrot died and she's ready for a new parrot. She wants something more cuddly and affectionate. An Indian ringneck would not be the parrot for her. She wants a cuddly teddy bear parrot. They still bite, but you know, something like a Quaker, green cheek conure. This is not a cuddly parrot. This is a very independent parrot. Indian ringnecks are so independent that they are different than, for example, a conure. Conures are one of the most cuddly. Conures tend to, I describe them as being like this because they tend to be in more proximity to each other. When they're couples, they're often touching each other. Indian ringnecks are not like that. With Indian ringnecks, it is a matriarchal society in which the hens or females can be mean to the males, can injure the males, can kill the males. I don't know how often that happens, but they can really be aggressive towards the males. That means that the males don't really like to hang out and be like this because it ends up in them getting bitten. Not a good thing. Jules is really having fun playing with this. I'm going to let him off the tether. Come here, Jules. And then, come here. He might fly off. I'm okay with that. It's going to show you what taming him has been like. My Quakers that I have tamed are already so much sweeter with me, so much nicer. The one I've had more time to tame looks to me, sometimes calls to me because she wants me to be with her. The male's like, a little get away from me, but not quite as much. Did I get the wrong clip? Are you still on the tether? Oh, you are still on the tether. So Indian ringnecks, they don't necessarily always like each other. Does that mean that if you get two, they won't like each other? Does that mean you should only have one? You know, it kind of depends on your Indian ringneck. It kind of depends on your lifestyle. For me, one of the most important things is having two just so that they can see or hear each other. parrots like to be around other parrots. Even if they're not the same species, they still like to hear other parrots. They still like to fly into the palm tree. And now I have replaced my independent Indian ringneck with my more so cuddly, not teddy bear, but more so cuddly Cape parrot Macy, who's asking me for pets. And that's a really good contrast for you. This is what a Cape parrot's like. It is a little more connected to a human as far as the cuddles and the teddy bear descriptions go. You just heard my Indian ringneck, who is now happy and up there. I took him for a walk around the neighborhood. He loved it. He looks around. He enjoys it. But then he's independent. He's like, I'm ready to go do my own thing. See ya. Now, what do you do about Indian ringnecks biting? Because all parrots can and do bite, and all parrots, they can go through a initial biting phase, like green cheek conures the first year of life. They're like a puppy. They're learning sort of their strength. They do bite, but I find that they outgrow this. With your Indian ringneck, if your Indian ringneck's biting, here, is your nail stuck? There you go. There you go. I'll put some links to videos I've done on biting. I've done several videos, so I'll put a couple links down below in the description for you, because biting is a whole nother topic. Now, what do you do if the Indian ringneck is more aggressive with one person in the home, because the person that wrote is having that problem? You know, one of the things that happens is a combination. I don't find Indian ringnecks to be one-person parrots, but they can be, and that means that they bond with one person. It's kind of like in the wild, they have one mate, and then everyone else needs to get away from that couple kind of thing, so they can be aggressive with other people or other birds. Again, I don't think Indian ringnecks are like that. I think more likely what's going on is Indian ringnecks, just like any other parrot or any other animal, they react differently to different people. For example, my dad was a veterinarian, so my parrots just acted like he was Dr. Dolittle. They just came right to him and were like, they liked him. They just liked him. Whereas with other people, when other people are nervous or scared, you know, then the parrots tend to not like them as much, kind of distance themselves, and if the person approaches, they're more likely to bite. So it really has a lot to do, usually, with the person. That means you want to have the person get more comfortable with your Indian ringneck if you hope that they are going to improve the relationship. Now, a new parrot also takes just some time to get used to things. They're in a new home, it's a new life. The natural order of life for a parrot has been interrupted because they no longer have their flock. They now have you and a new home, and that's fine, but it's a big adjustment. So with parrots, it's not like a dog where you bring a puppy home and like 5 minutes later, they're licking you, you're hugging them, they're running around the house sniffing everything, and it's like they're home. They're done. They've adopted you as much as you've adopted them. Parrots aren't like that. Parrots kind of stay back, they assess things, they're really intelligent, they make observations, they watch, they look for patterns. The more you have routines with them, the better, especially if you're having problems with an Indian ringneck. An Indian ringneck is a parrot that I think would really benefit from training, so learn how to train your Indian ringneck, because then you're giving them even more routines and even more habits. But that Indian ringneck, when they have those routines and habits, that's going to help. But they're going to stay back. They're going to watch things. They're going to see whether or not they're safe. If there are other parrots in the home, I find they acclimate more quickly and more easily. If not, it can be an adjustment period. When they're a baby that's just weaned, generally speaking, they're going to adapt more quickly. When they're a rescue that's an adult that's 10, 20, 30 years old, 40 years old, it's going to take them longer. The adults that I have rescued, it's taken them sometimes a couple of years to really really feel at home and really be talking and really be comfortable. And it also depends on how much time you spend with them. But I want to paint a picture in which you can't bring home your Indian ringneck and expect them to instantly take to you in your home. The people writing me, I can tell that the Indian ringnecks, they didn't buy them as babies, like just weaned, because the bond's not as strong. And Indian ringnecks it's a little harder to make a bond with them because, again, they're not that teddy bear where you just go and you just hug them kind of thing. So you have to be a little more patient with your Indian ringnecks. Let me make sure that we've talked about everything. We talked about the fact that they don't always get along. I'm putting links into the biting because that happens. I've told you that it takes them some time to acclimate because that's absolutely true. And if you're finding that your Indian ringneck, therefore, isn't really bonding with you, doesn't want a lot of pets, is off doing its own thing, that is unfortunately more of their nature. Can you change that? You can influence it. If I wanted to influence it, which I do, and I did, and so I've been taming Jules, the Indian ringneck I had at the beginning of the video, then I would put a tether or a harness on my Indian ringneck and take him for walks. I do that. The more I do it, the friendlier he gets, the more he's calm and relaxed with me. The other day he was out back here and I went to pick him up to take him into the house, and he actually stepped up. He actually crawled up my shoulder to his position, and we went in the house, and I was amazed. He actually was like, oh, I know what we're doing. Sure, I'll come with you. That was the first time he's done that for me. It takes time and repetition. With parrots, you have to be constant and consistent. The more you spend time with them on a constant and consistent daily basis, the more you have a routine. If you're doing training with them, the more you are routine about the training, the better. The better the experience and the better you're going to have with your parrot, especially with a parrot like an Indian ringneck. Otherwise, they can really be independent and a little harder, like I was saying, to connect with. Hopefully I answered all your questions. If not, please be sure to post below. If you want some awesome parrot merch, like my daughter's awesome cockatiel drawing here that's on this t-shirt, please be sure to visit shop.parrotbliss.com. And if you want to join my membership, please visit parrotbliss.com and click on membership or groups at the top. And then please be sure to give me one of these, and I will catch you in the next feathered video. A comment below helps my juice. Thanks for being here. I'll catch you next time.